The bloody embarrassment of the Red Dragon. Chinese submarines sink without a trace in the South China Sea and Yangtze River, mocked mercilessly by India and the Philippines. Did India's first nuclear submarine sink because they forgot to close the hatch? This mocking headline flooded Chinese websites in 2017. That year, India's nuclear submarine, INS Arihant, reportedly took on water because of an improperly closed hatch, and repairs took 10 months. Chinese media were full of mockery and sarcasm, but just a few years later, China's own Type 041 mini-nuclear submarine was reported to have sunk due to a similar mistake, an unsecured hatch. Indian media can now publish a similar headline, suggesting that China's first domestic mini-nuclear submarine sank because they forgot to close the hatch. Can it still be used? In July 2024, a post on Platform X gained attention when satellite images showed 4 large floating cranes rushing to the Wuhan shipbuilding industry group on the Yangtze River for a salvage operation. On September 6, 2025, a Chinese submarine accident reportedly occurred in the Yellow Sea, resulting in the feared deaths of 55 crew members, according to a secret UK report. This incident highlights ongoing safety issues in China's submarine fleet, similar to past accidents involving nuclear submarines. No confirmed reports match this exact date and location in September 2025. The most recent similar event was in August 2023, where a Type 093 submarine suffered a fatal oxygen system failure in the Yellow Sea, killing 55, including the captain. China denied the 2023 incident, and no new 2025 events have been independently verified. On August 6, 2025, the Russian and Chinese navies conducted joint exercises in the Sea of Japan, practicing the destruction of an enemy submarine. This drill underscores the ongoing military cooperation between the two nations and their focus on anti-submarine warfare tactics. The Maritime Interaction 2025 exercises ran from August 1st to 5th, involving surface ships, submarines, and aircraft in anti-submarine, air defense, and rescue drills near Vladivostok. A joint patrol followed in the Asia-Pacific, marking the first-ever coordinated submarine operation between the two navies. In February 2025, satellite imagery revealed a new, unreported Chinese submarine under construction, leaving Western analysts guessing about its capabilities. This development indicates China's continued efforts to expand its submarine fleet despite recent setbacks. Imagery from Guangzhou Shipyard on January 10th showed a previously unknown design, approximately 148 feet long with X-form rudders and no traditional sail, suggesting advanced stealth features for shallow water operations. It's distinct from the Type 041 and likely diesel-electric, not nuclear. On September 17, 2025, a YouTube video titled "Chinese Submarine Surfaces Next to U.S. Aircraft Carrier" gained attention, suggesting a potential close encounter in international waters. While details remain unconfirmed, it points to heightened tensions involving Chinese submarines near U.S. naval assets. The video depicts a Chinese Yuan-class submarine surfacing near the USS Ronald Reagan in the Philippine Sea, interpreted as a bold but risky maneuver that exposed the sub to U.S. surveillance. No official confirmation from either navy, but it echoes past incidents like the 2015 shadowing of the Reagan off Japan. On March 27, 2025, a tourist submarine operated by Sinbad Submarines sank off the coast of Hurghada, Egypt, resulting in 6 deaths. Although not directly involving Chinese submarines, it reflects broader global concerns about submarine safety in 2025. The vessel, carrying 45 tourists, mostly Russian, and 5 crew, sank 1 kilometer offshore due to a possible crew error like open hatches during boarding. 6 Russians died, 39 were rescued, and operations were suspended pending investigation. Sinbad claimed compliance with international standards, but survivors cited inadequate safety drills. As of October 15, 2025, U.S. officials have noted that China is projected to have 65 submarines by the end of the year, with new, more lethal models gradually replacing older ones. This expansion continues despite reported incidents, indicating no slowdown in China's naval ambitions. The Pentagon's assessments confirm the People's Liberation Army Navy plan will reach 65 submarines, including 6 SSBNs, 6 SSNs, and 48 diesel-electric by end 2025, growing to 80 by 2035, driven by expanded construction at sites like Bohai and Wuchang. Recent additions include Type 093B SSGNs and the troubled Type 041. Despite the United States' clear lead in electronic combat operations, bolstered by advanced systems withheld from allies like Japan to prevent leaks to adversaries such as China or Russia, China's bold submarine tactics have shown temporary success, earning President Xi Jinping's approval for their proactive approach. A notable example is a Chinese submarine neutralizing Japanese helicopters, though the Chinese Navy's harsh policy forces crews to choose death over surrender, reflecting the CCP's disregard for regular troops' well-being, unlike Western nations like the US and Britain, which allow negotiation. Near Weihai Bay, a covert burial ground for submariners killed in missions, lacks markings to protect unit secrecy, with the CCP erecting a Sino-Japanese war memorial hall to mask its existence. This bold move from China likely heightened U.S. vigilance, especially amid talks with Japan on restructuring command for American troops stationed there, making it challenging for China's armed forces to repeat such tactics. The 7-minute video, Into the Abyss, released for the Chinese Navy's 75th anniversary in April, hinted at the harsh reality of submariners' fates, with a narrator emphasizing, "Nobody should be absent" for photos, implying images for gravestones if crews are lost. Submarine assaults often involve sneaking into hostile waters with battleships to initiate strikes, but the high risk of detection has reportedly led to the loss of many Chinese submarines, with unrecoverable remains. President Xi Jinping's 2018 visit to Liaodong Island aimed to honor fallen submariners and boost morale in the submarine division. Submarine personnel at Liaodong's training facility are aware of their likely fate and must conceal their roles from family and friends, limiting social ties. Romantic relationships are complicated, as submariners struggle to disclose their jobs, and many leave service after a few years due to these pressures. China's submarine force faces a shortage of experienced personnel, exacerbated by the allure of internet fame and wealth, deterring recruits from both upper and lower classes. Physical demands are stringent, with Chinese trainees struggling to lift 130 to 150 kilograms, compared to U.S. personnel easily handling 200 kilograms. A CCTV-7 documentary shocked viewers with the Type 372 incident, where a sudden seabed drop and seawater density shift caused a near-catastrophic plunge, exposing the need for perfect crew synchronization to seal hundreds of valves manually. Western submarines operate smoothly in diverse environments with automated systems, while Chinese crisis procedures appear inadequate. Chinese submariners rely on manual sonar detection, lowering efficiency and increasing error risks, and their diet is limited to preserved foods, unlike Western crews who enjoy fresh produce and daily showers. Chinese submarines also face logistical challenges, hoarding trash until returning to port, unlike Western subs with waste burners. China employs wolfpack tactics, using smart mines and unmanned subs to trap U.S. vessels near its coasts. The USS Connecticut incident in 2021 suggests China used a Type 094 submarine as bait, supported by satellites and supercomputers, to track and damage the U.S. sub. The Chinese Navy's 75th anniversary video showcased a Type 094 firing JL-2 missiles, but the footage was from 2015, indicating no recent tests. possibly due to reliability concerns or fear of exposing sublocations. China's Type 094 submarines carry JL-2 missiles with a 7,400 to 9,000 kilometer range, but their bulky, low-efficiency solid fuel motors reflect technological compromises. The CCP's nuclear deterrence propaganda mirrors Russia's, but both appear less effective against sustained U.S. Western support for allies like Ukraine. The Type 041's hybrid diesel nuclear design aimed to revive abandoned Western mini-reactor technology, but failed, with U.S. officials calling it a botched effort. The Type 041's sinking at Wuhan, likely due to a basic error like an unsecured hatch, highlights systemic issues in China's defense industry, including corruption and rushed production. Western experts note that such accidents were addressed decades ago in their navies, as seen in the 1939 HMS Thetis and 1969 USS Guitaro incidents, which led to overhauled procedures. China's silence on the Type 041 incident and lack of media coverage suggest an attempt to conceal the setback, especially given the sub's advanced design. The Type 041, smaller than China's typical nuclear submarines, 83 meters, 3,000 plus tons versus 110 meters, 7,200 plus tons for Type 093B, was designed for shallow water operations in the West Pacific, where larger subs struggle. Its hybrid propulsion, combining a small nuclear reactor with diesel, aimed to enhance maneuverability, but the sinking underscores persistent challenges in China's naval ambitions. CCP's mismanagement and flawed weapons ambitions. The repeated failures of China's submarine program, from the Type 041's humiliating sinking at Wuhan, to the deadly Type 093 accident and the outdated technology exposed in the Type 372 incident, lay bare the Chinese Communist Party's systemic mismanagement and overambitious weapons development. The CCP's prioritization of propaganda over safety, coupled with corruption and rushed production, has led to catastrophic losses and exposed the fragility of its naval aspirations. While China projects power through wolfpack tactics and nuclear deterrence posturing, its reliance on manual systems, inadequate training, and a callous disregard for crew welfare starkly contrasts with Western advancements, inviting mockery from nations like India and the Philippines, and undermining the Red Dragon's claim to superpower status.